My loving audience take my love and subscribes my channel. Wait, did you guys see that? Did Tomas really just pick up that cup? This is getting way too messy for Fairmont Crest. Was this really just a simple mistake, or is something much deeper going on here? I mean, we've all been watching Hayley play this deadly game of tea time for weeks now. But if the latest rumors are right, the collateral damage is about to hit way closer to home than she ever expected. Could the very guy who knows her darkest secret be the one who pays the price for her getting sloppy, comma? Honestly, it makes me wonder if she's actually losing her grip. Let's look at what's happening in that Hamilton house. It's basically a house of horrors at this point. We've been tracking Hayley as she tries to microdose Bill with that undetectable poison Randy gave her, comma. But here's the funny thing about how this show is written lately. We have two different guys in the hospital for totally different reasons. Bill is literally falling over in his office because his wife is treating his tea like a science experiment gone wrong, comma. Then you have Tomas, who gets rushed to the hospital because of a romp-related injury that the show called penile confusion, comma. I'm not even kidding. I think the writers are doing this on purpose. Think about it. It strips the alpha status from both of these men at the exact same time. It leaves the door wide open for Hayley to move her pieces. But what happens if those two worlds collide? What if the poison meant for the boss ends up in the protégé's cup? It's a terrifying thought. Why did the characters act this way? Well, Hayley is basically a vibrating ball of anxiety right now, comma. When you're spinning as many plates as she is, you start to lose your focus. She's trying to find a $10 million insurance policy on a computer while Caroline is breathing down her neck, comma. If Tomas is hanging around the office and feeling himself, he might just reach for the wrong drink. He's already sitting in Bill's chair and trying to manifest power, comma. My take is that this isn't just a mistake. It might be a subconscious slip for Hayley. If Tomas drinks that tea, she solves two huge problems. She tests the poison, and she silences the one person who can put her in handcuffs, comma. It reframes her being clumsy as a lethal instinct. Now, let's talk about Bill for a second. He is supposed to be this world-class lawyer. So why hasn't he sent that tea to a lab yet? He's supposed to be 10 steps ahead, but his ego is blinding him. He wants to believe Hayley loves him so much that he's ignoring the fact that he literally shook the studio when he fell, comma. I honestly disagree with fans who think Bill is just faking it. I think he's in deep denial. It's going to take someone like Tomas hitting the floor to wake him up, comma. This whole situation is about control versus chaos. Hayley poisons him slowly because she needs to look like the doting wife. Meanwhile, Tomas is dealing with a massive case of imposter syndrome. He's sitting in that chair and bucking up to Naomi because he's trying to wear a suit that doesn't fit him yet, comma. The tea becomes a symbol of that stolen power. It's a bitter drink that neither man was really supposed to swallow. We have to look closer at Tomas Navarro's soul here. He knows the truth. He overheard that phone call where Hayley was talking about dosages and timelines, comma. He knows his boss is being deleted, but he's using that time to step it up at the firm. It feels like a moral vacuum to me. Tomas has always been seen as weak, but now he's finally got some guts. And what does he do? He tries to take power from Naomi. It tells us he doesn't want to save Bill, he wants to be Bill, comma. Tomas probably feels pretty emasculated. His relationship with Kat is a mess, he's got these embarrassing injuries, and he's tired of being the Nomas of the office, comma. He's desperate for respect. If he has to let Bill drink a little more cinnamon ginger tea to get it, he might just look the other way, comma. I view Tomas as the wild card in a deck that's already stacked. He's not a traditional villain, but he's definitely a capitalist of tragedy. I think it's pretty gross that he's using Bill's health crisis to gaslight Naomi. When he told her it didn't feel like she was there from the other side of the desk, that was a low blow. He's burning bridges he hasn't even finished crossing yet. This is opportunistic narcissism at its finest. He's spent so long in Bill's shadow that he thinks the shadow is his own. By not warning Bill, he's basically using silence as a weapon. Things are about to get way worse. Hayley's plan is moving too slow for her cousin Randy, Plus, new clients are walking through the door that are going to totally blindside her, When Joey Armstrong walks in, he's not just looking for a lawyer. He smells blood, If Tomas is the one meeting with these shady clients while Bill is sick, he's getting into a world of dirty money he isn't ready for, Hayley is starting to realize that being a merry widow involves a lot of annoying paperwork. She's panicked because Caroline caught her snooping, Every time she hands Bill a cup, she's praying he won't ask about the file she's hiding. The law firm is becoming its own character. It's not a place for justice anymore. It's a carcass, and the vultures are circling. I'll be honest, the writers are giving us some serious arc fatigue with the tea. How many times can we watch her stir those drops? But adding Tomas into the mix as a victim or a blackmailer is exactly what this story needs. I want to see Hayley actually have to fight for that money instead of just waiting for Bill to fall like a bag of bricks, She's in a sunk cost fallacy loop. She's invested months into this, so she can't stop now, even if she's getting caught, She even went from 2 drops to 4. Here is my big prediction for what happens next. It's not going to be pretty. I think Tomas is going to have a real medical emergency in the office. He's going to drink that cold tea Bill rejected. Since Tomas hasn't built up a tolerance like Bill might have, he's going to hit the floor hard, And the scary part? Hayley won't call 911. She's going to use his collapse to frame him. She'll plant the vial in his locker or his car. If Tomas is found with the poison and everyone knows he's been acting ambitious, the story writes itself, People will think the jealous protégé tried to take out the mentor. It's a perfect trap. Kat will be absolutely destroyed by this. She's already struggling with her health results in her new condo, Seeing Tomas hauled off in handcuffs will be the final straw for her. The Peter Weir joke from earlier was just a distraction. It was meant to make us stop worrying about Tomas's health so the real blow would hit harder. I honestly think the show needs to kill off a major character. Bill surviving every dose makes the poison look like sugar water, If Tomas dies or gets permanently hurt, the stakes finally get real. Hayley is just using displaced aggression. She can't kill Bill fast enough, so she'll destroy Tomas instead. But wait, there's one theory I'm really banking on. What if Bill Hamilton is actually the smartest guy in the room, He's a lawyer. He reads people for a living. He definitely noticed Hayley acting like a ball of nerves, He's already stared at that cup and told her he's not having any more of her poison, We think he's being metaphorical, but he might be serious. What are the odds Tomas is a villain or just desperate? Did you guys see that? I mean, really look at it. The second Tomas Navarro decided to park himself in Bill Hamilton's leather chair, the whole energy of the show just shifted. You know the chair I'm talking about. It is not just a piece of furniture. In the world of Beyond the Gates, that chair is basically a throne, and seeing Tomas lounge in it like he already signed the lease on the whole building? It honestly sent a chill down my spine. We have been watching this man for a long time, but this latest shift has me asking the one question that is totally dividing the fandom right now. Is Tomas actually becoming the show's next big villain, or is he just a desperate man who has finally been pushed way past his breaking point? This isn't just about office politics anymore. We are talking about a guy who is currently holding a literal death secret in his pocket while he gaslights the grieving daughter of his own mentor. Was this really just a slow evolution, or has the Black Widow of Fairmont Crest, Hayley Lawson, finally found the perfect partner in crime? Let's really dig into the mess that is the Hamilton law firm right now. Honestly, the psychology of what is happening in that building is more toxic than the tea Hayley is brewing. While Bill is stumbling over his words and literally shaking the studio with his collapses, Tomas has decided that instead of being the hero who saves his boss, he is going to be the vulture that picks the carcass clean. Now, the official record tells us that Tomas overheard Hayley discussing dosages and timelines for the poisoning. That is a huge moment. That is the kind of thing that should have sent any decent person straight to the police or at least to Bill's side. But did he do that? Nope. He chose silence. Why? Well, think about it. My analysis is that Tomas has entered this weird state of moral suspension. He didn't act because, in his twisted mind, Bill being incapacitated isn't a tragedy. It is an opportunity. It is a fascinating bit of writing because it strips away that good guy mask he's been wearing for years. When you look at how he is acting now, it is so clear that he isn't just desperate for a paycheck. He is hungry for the crown that Bill has worn for decades. The funny thing about how this show treats its men is that it loves to embarrass them before it turns them into monsters. I mean, just think about what Tomas has been through in the last few weeks. He was rushed to the hospital with what the staff called a romp-related injury, the whole Peter Weir incident. That is basically the ultimate soap opera shorthand for saying this man has lost every ounce of his dignity. And on top of that physical humiliation, he had his marriage proposal rejected by Kat. Kat is out here moving into her own condo and living her best independent life, and Tomas is just there. Emotionally, the guy is a hollowed-out shell. Internally, he is feeling absolutely worthless. And you know what happens when a man feels like he has no power in his personal life? He will burn down his professional life just to feel like he is in control of something. It is displaced aggression at its finest. He cannot control Kat, and he cannot control his own body, so he is going to control the flow of information regarding Bill's life. It is a dark, twisted way to reclaim his alpha status, and frankly, it makes him more dangerous than a normal villain because he feels like he has nothing left to lose. I view this whole chair-sitting incident as a classic psychological power move. It is like he is trying to manifest power, but it borders on total narcissism. When Hayley walked in and saw him there, she didn't even get mad. Instead, she gassed him up. She told him there were other people who wanted his spot, and she intentionally fed his ego just to create havoc in the office. This tells me that Tomas has become a capitalist of tragedy. He is just waiting for the market to crash, and in this case, the market is Bill's health, so he can buy the firm at a discount. My opinion? It is absolutely disgusting to watch him use Bill's health crisis to gaslight Naomi. When he told her that her father felt abandoned and that it didn't feel like she was there from the other side of the desk, he was taking a total low blow at a daughter who is genuinely terrified for her dad. I completely agree with the podcast theories that suggest Tomas is crashing out. He is burning bridges he hasn't even finished crossing yet because he is stuck in a sunk cost fallacy. He feels like he has given Bill 70 to 90 hours a week for years and hasn't received the respect he thinks he's owed, so he's decided to just take it by force. But we really have to ask ourselves, is he actually a villain, or is he just a pawn who thinks he is a player? Hayley is a master at manipulation, and she has Tomas exactly where she wants him. She has turned him into this wild card who is so distracted by his own ambition that he cannot see he is the perfect scapegoat. Think about it. If Bill actually dies or gets permanently hurt, who do you think the police are going to look at first? Are they going to look at the doting wife who saved him with chest compressions, or are they going to look at the ambitious, disgruntled protégé who was caught sitting in the boss's chair and fighting with the family? I predict that Tomas's ambition is going to be his literal undoing. There is a very high chance that Hayley realized he knows her secret and, instead of paying him off, she is going to frame him. All she has to do is plant that vial in his locker or his car, and the narrative just writes itself. The jealous apprentice tried to take out the master to seize the firm. It solves two problems for her at once. It silences a witness and gives the police a perfect culprit. The escalations here are getting so intense because it's not just the Hamiltons anymore. The entire legal and criminal world of Fairmont Crest is starting to circle the firm like sharks. Joey Armstrong is knocking on the door, and he smells blood in the water. He knows Bill is off his game, and if Tomas is the one taking these meetings, he is stepping into a world of dirty money and clinic fronts that he is psychologically unprepared to handle. Tomas thinks he can play with the big boys just because he has one secret on Hayley, but he doesn't realize he is walking into a room full of people who have been keeping secrets for decades. My take is that the law firm isn't even a place of justice anymore. It is a carcass being picked apart by vultures. Tomas is a vulture, Joey is a vulture, and Hayley is the one who killed the prey in the first place. It is a perfect storm of greed and desperation that is going to end with someone in a body bag, and at this rate, it might just be Tomas. We also have to talk about the Noma's nickname the fans have given him. It is a play on no mas, as in no more Tomas, and it shows just how much the audience has turned on this guy. People are just tired of him scolding Kat and telling her she provoked her aggressors like Eva. He has been dismissive and invalidating to the women in his life for a long time, and now that behavior is bleeding into his professional world. He is becoming a man who views everyone as an obstacle to his own greatness. Psychologically, this is a man who has spent so long in Bill's shadow that he has actually started to believe the shadow is his own. He doesn't realize that without Bill, the firm is just a name on a glass door. If he lets Bill die, he is not inheriting a legacy. He is inheriting a target. So, what are the actual odds? I would say he is 30% desperate and 70% villain at this point. The desperation was definitely the catalyst, the rejection from Kat, the embarrassing injury, the feeling of being overlooked. But the choice to stay silent about a literal murder plot? That is a villain's move, plain and simple. He is prioritizing a career opportunity over a human life, and that is the definition of a soap opera antagonist. He is not a hero who made a mistake. He is a man who looked into the abyss of his own ambition and decided to jump right in. I honestly disagree with the fans who think he is going to have a redemption arc. I think he is way too far gone into his own ego to ever admit he was wrong. He is bucking up to Naomi, gaslighting his coworkers, and playing a game of chicken with a woman who is literally holding a vial of poison in her hand. But wait, here is the twist I am really banking on. What if Bill already knows? Bill is a world-class lawyer who reads people for a living. You think he doesn't notice his wife acting like a vibrating ball of anxiety? He has already stared at the cup and snapped, "I'm not having any more of your poison." While we all thought he was talking metaphorically, he might be speaking the literal truth. If Bill is 10 steps ahead, then he is letting Tomas squirm on purpose. He might even be testing Tomas's loyalty, and so far, Tomas is failing that test in spectacular fashion. If Bill survives this, Tomas is going to be out on the street with a resume that no firm in the country will ever touch. The hospital isn't Bill's purgatory. It is his war room, and I think he is letting the chaos in the office play out just so he can see who his real enemies are. This brings us to the ultimate conflict. If Tomas drinks the tea, which he very well might, considering his new boss persona involves reaching for Bill's things, he is going to hit the floor hard. And unlike Bill, Tomas hasn't been microdosing to build a tolerance. The irony of the man who knew about the poison becoming its second victim would be a masterclass in soap opera justice. Kat would be destroyed, the firm would be in ruins, and Hayley would finally have the scapegoat she needs. It reframes the entire operation, kill Bill as a tragic accident involving a troubled employee. This is why the stakes are so high right now. Every move Tomas makes is either a step toward the corner office or a step toward the grave. Think about the betrayal he must feel. He left Danny for a woman who is trying to turn his heart into a stopwatch. Maybe he's staying in the hospital because it's the only safe place left while he builds a case against her, If he isn't faking it a little bit, then his genius is a lie. He needs to prove he's the smartest man there, or he deserves what's in that cup, I think Bill is playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse, and Hayley doesn't realize she's the mouse. He's letting her squirm and get sloppy. He's probably waiting for her to throw away the vial so he can catch her red-handed. It would be terrifyingly brilliant if he switched the cups or replaced the poison with sugar water weeks ago, This drama is just getting started, and I need to know what you guys think. Do you think Tomas is actually becoming a villain, or is he just a desperate guy trying to find his feet, Is he totally out of line for talking to Naomi like that, And if Tomas does collapse, should Kat stay with him, or is this the giant red flag she needs to walk away, Drop your theories in the comments. I'm going to be replying to as many as I can because we have to talk about this Black Widow arc. If you want to see Bill finally nail Hayley to the wall, or if you think Tomas is about to be the scapegoat, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a thing. Keep your gates locked, keep your snacks ready, and seriously, check your tea, I'll see you in the next one.